Dear students, the topic of this lecture is effect of Islamic fundamental beliefs on Muslim moral behavior. Under this title, I have chosen the important beliefs of Islam, and that is number one, belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number two is belief in the angels, and number three is belief in the holy scriptures, and number four is belief in the prophets or messengers, and number five is belief in the day of judgment, and number six is belief in the predestination, or in other words, the divine destiny. Now just take a look on these and we will discuss these topics briefly and see how these articles of belief affects the human behavior, or how does these articles of belief change or affect or impress or have an impact on the Muslim behavior. Take the example of belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When a person has a belief in Allah, it means that Allah as one and only one God, that Allah is the only one and the only God. There is no other God except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The second point in this is that a person should have a very strong belief or knowledge about the attributes or the qualities or the features of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The third part of this is the impact of belief on the behavior of a Muslim or a Muslimah. Now when a person has a belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with all these, with the concept that He is the only one, the creator and the owner, ultimate owner of this universe, and there are many attributes or the attributes which cannot be uncountable attributes or sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Each and every attribute has an impact on the Muslim's behavior. For example, if we take the example of only one attribute, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows and He is aware of whatever we do in the daylight or in the night or wherever we are, He is watching or He is having the knowledge or the information of our activities. Now if a person has this belief, how can it be possible that he or she can do any of the things which are not permissible, which are not allowed by Allah Almighty, and how is it possible that he shows a behavior of disobedience? Now if a person is vigilant and he knows all these attributes, and this attribute that he is watching and I am going to be accountable to him. So if this attribute or this quality, only one example can be taken, so what will be the impact on the person's behavior? The answer is that the person will not do anything which is wrong in his life, in this life, because he has a belief that Allah knows all his attitudes, his behavior, his deeds, which are good and bad, and he is going to be responsible on the day of judgment. The second belief is the belief in the angels. Now how does this belief of angels affects? The definition of this angels is that these are the creatures created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they have certain characteristics, means they have certain responsibilities, certain ranks, and they have certain assignments or duties, and they are completely monitoring each and every person's, male or female, their exercise or their activities. So this is another thing which shows that these angels are also the creatures which are monitoring the human activities. If this concept is there and this belief is there in a person's mind, the impact of this will be positive. A person will not do anything which is going to be harmful for him in this world and also in the next world. Number 3, the belief in the holy scriptures or the books means that the purpose of uh, of uh, of bringing the books or revealing the books on the prophets, on the messengers, is that they all have some impacts on the human behavior. For example, that the impact on the religious behavior can be taken as an example. I have given you the example as social, economic, and political or collective behavior of a person. Now, the purpose of these holy books and scriptures is to give the instructions or to give an idea or a path, to show a path or the laws or the rules and regulations which are suitable for him in the social, economic, and political or collective or political or collective life or the collective behavior or his collective activities. So the purpose of revealing the books or the holy scripture is to show the right path which has been shown to the prophets and by his books. So this is the main concept. This also guides and affects this belief, or this knowledge of the book also gives the knowledge has an impact on the behavior of a Muslim. Number 4 is the belief in the prophets. A person who is a Muslim or a Muslimah has to have a belief, and this belief also affects the human behavior and or an impact on the human behavior, in the sense that the person should know, a person Muslim or a Muslimah should know what is the status of the messengers or the prophets or Rasuls. The status of the prophet or the Rasul is that they are the naib of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are the Khalifa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They have been given the task to propagate or to send the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the shape of these books or sahaif and convey this message of Allah to the people. So the messengers and the prophets has a very important status and role, for which a person has to have a very strong belief in that. And there are many accounts and parables which are mentioned in Quran and Hadith about the prophets or the messengers or the Rasul. The purpose of this is these parables or these similitudes in the Quran and Hadith is also the purpose is that a person should get a relevance or a lesson or for his life, how he should behave in certain times in social, economic, and political situations in the light of Quran and in the light of Hadith. The examples of Adam alayhi salam, Adam and Abraham or Musa and Dawood and Isa, all these prophets, the parables or the examples given in Quran shows the same message, that the person who has this belief in these people is giving the message that how they should behave in the society. There are 25 prophets mentioned in the Holy Quran. The lessons of all these prophets, the life of these prophets gives the lessons for an ethical and moral behavior in this life, is the fourth part of the belief. The fifth is the belief in the Day of Judgment. Very simple. Then Quran, Hadith, and it means that there is a Day of Judgment. A person who is going to do the right deeds will get the reward for his good deeds and the reward for his bad deeds. The rationale and logic behind this is that if a person is having a belief in this and he is always doing good deeds in this world, the rationale or the logic behind that is that he needs the reward or he needs the ajr of that. So where is he going to get the ajr of all those deeds which he has done in this life? So the answer is very simple to understand. There is a need for a day of judgment or a Yawm al-Qiyamah, a day on which all the good deeds, all the judgment will be given and the justice will prevail on the Day of Judgment. And this belief in the Day of Judgment also has a very important vital effect on the human behavior. Number 6 is the belief in the predestination, and that is the divine destiny. There are two things in that, in divine destiny or taqdeer. One in there are, or we can understand this with a simple example. Two circles, if you draw two circles and put the man inside as a figure, in circle number one, the man is totally in the hands and the destiny is totally in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is written, nothing can be changed. Where do I have to be born? Where do I have to go? Where I have to live my life, and when I am going to be a dead man is the destiny which nobody knows, only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written in his book. And the second part of the circle is the second part. And so in the first part, the man has no discretion, no ikhtiyar. He cannot do anything without his own wish. But in the second circle of the part, he has a free will or discretion to do what he thinks right or wrong. And in Quran, there are many places which is written that وَهَدَيْنَاهُمْ نَجْدَيْنِ, we have shown the man all the two paths. And so this is the reason that which gives the itminan or the sanctity to the person, that if he is doing the right thing, he is doing the things which he is doing is going to be bring him the good result, and what he is doing is was not written in the destiny or the constant destiny, but it is up to me that if I do the right things, my destiny will be changed and I will be given a reward, or my life after death will be full of a reward and without any punishment. This very important belief in the predestination gives the source of inspiration to a person and affects the belief of predestination, that a person has to work hard to his own capacity, and the result or the outcome of that is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he knows what is going to be the result of that. With this I close. Thank you very much.